Unwarranted, the interview series.
And welcome back to Unwarranted Advice. It is the interview portion of the show, or the interview series. We haven't figured it out yet, but we're doing an interview. How about that? We're very fortunate to be joined on the show by someone I just met, but was really impressed by her story of service, and very early on in a recovery program with a child, I might add, and it really struck a chord with me because a lot of people talk about not being able to do service work until you've got like a year clean or whatever it is, and I've found like putting myself out there as quickly as possible has helped me get out of my own head and clean up some of the shame and embarrassment stuff. So I found it very helpful. So we're very fortunate to be joined by Christy Crowder, who's the mentor coordinator with Next Step. Is that correct?
That's correct. Hello, everyone.
Literally tens of people are listening to this. So, Christy, can you give me a little bit of your background and sort of what the last year of your life has looked like?
Sure. I'm a recovering heroin addict. IV heroin is my drug of choice. I've struggled with that on and off for about 15 years now. I have two older children. I've got a 13-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter, and I just had a baby boy. He's 6 months old now. I've been clean from everything for about 10 months now, and I am currently a mentor coordinator for a program that we have for young women who are currently incarcerated, age 18 to 25, who are mothers.
That's unbelievable because I feel like it's difficult enough to manage your own stuff. Like, as I got clean, my first few months were just like stabilization, like, do the basic level human being stuff, like make sure I feed myself and have a job,
Yeah.
And then
after a shower once in a while. Yeah.
Right. And then after that, I was like, well, I have a call to service work, and I didn't really know where to do it. I went to a couple of board meetings for 12-step recovery, and I'm trying to work on something locally with the Hamilton Center, but I didn't know where to aim this love. And I feel like a lot of people try to fill that hole with like a relationship or something like that, and
it usually doesn't work out well.
Right. So how did you get hooked up with this program?
Well, I'm lucky. I was blessed. I actually went through the recovery house, through the treatment center at the Next Step Recovery House here in Terre Haute, which I thought was a great program for me. They let me come there being pregnant, and let me stay there and have my child there, and let me stay after I had my child. And they just started doing this mentoring program about 6 months ago. It's through a grant from the federal government, from the Department of Juvenile Justice, and that's the reason it only covers young women age 18 to 25. But the grant was given to ISU and then subawarded to Next Step. And so Next Step has been working on planning this for a while. And when they started the implementation phase a few months ago, it just so happened that they asked me to be the mentor coordinator. It all just kind of fell into place. And so, I was really needing something to do to be able to get back. I think you're absolutely right. Giving back and doing service work is a huge part of recovery. And like you said earlier, it helps you, get out of your head and help others, and that's the best way, I think, to keep your sobriety is by helping others.
The important part, I think, of service work when you're doing mentorship is you can't teach and lead unless you're following those principles.
Correct.
So it really does keep you clean.
You can't be living a life that doesn't reflect what you're trying to tell others.
Absolutely, and I think that there's a gap with our level of care for incarceration, and I know that over the last 8 years, President Obama helped lower some of the mandatory minimum sentencing, and there's been a lot of funding for opiate addiction, but it looks like under the current administration, they're kind of sort of like revert back to imprisoning people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, exactly. This grant was given before the current administration, and so it's a 3-year grant, so we're at least covered for the next 3 years. But, if we don't show some results that this can work, I'm not so sure that we are going to be able to receive another grant for it to keep it going.
And I think it's an important part of the people that are going through this program to understand that you're filling a space so that someone else can come behind you. So it really not relapsing and like showing that these things work is helpful, not just for you, but for the next group of people who are in jail or going through legal problems. What does the mentor coordinator program look like? Is it, because you explained a little bit to me yesterday, it is sort of like wraparound services. You guys are talking about housing and childcare and like, the whole deal, not just a 12-step program.
Exactly, yes. Well, what it would entail, what we're needing is mentors. We currently have 12 girls signed up for this program from several local county jails. We're doing Vigo County, Putnam County, Clay, Sullivan, Vermilion, Park, Fountain, and Warren. Right now we currently have several girls out of Vigo, Putnam, and Clay counties, and Vermilion too, yes, Vermilion too. And we only have one mentor signed up at this time. But being a mentor would involve going to the jail and meeting with these girls while they're still incarcerated. It is a year-long commitment to become a mentor. You would start the relationship while they're in jail, go meet with them. And a lot of these local county jails have been very open to us coming, and they're very much for this program. And you could go meet with them like every other week while they're in jail. Most of the jails so far have been letting you just go into a room, meet with them for an hour. Like, you don't have to go on visit day. You can go another day during the week and meet with these girls for like an hour and start working on like a parenting handbook or a substance abuse treatment handbook while they're still in jail. Then the relationship would continue after they got out of jail. And then after they got out of jail, the goal is to just kind of help them with services that they need when they get out of jail. Like, everybody needs help when they first get out of jail, with like transportation to and from visits with their children, or to probation meetings, or to court hearings. We help them, if they need help with getting their GED or signing up for college, we help them with that. They need help with housing. We help find them housing. There are also funds available from this grant for legal services as far as getting your children back. And we have a lawyer, Noah Campbell, who has stepped up to help out with that as well.
That's amazing, because I so often people just sit there and wait to get out. And really, if you're in jail, like, the first couple of months can actually do some good because you clean up. It helps you stabilize. After I would say after the 60-day mark, it has diminishing returns. At that point, you're not getting the proper information or nutrition or feeding your mind with healthy people. So the fact that the recovery starts while you're there, where you're connected in and you can have planning and goal setting, and it's like really setting in. That's just so important.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard to do anything like that when you're sitting in jail and you don't have anybody on the outside that can help you, plan for these kind of things. And then unfortunately, the outcome is, these girls or whoever gets out of jail and they don't know where to start. Then they've got a record, they can't get a job, they don't have a ride to their meetings or to get anything done, and it becomes overwhelming for them, and they end up going back. And that's, the goal of this program is to reduce recidivism and also to help, these women reunite with their kids.
Christy Crowder joining us on Unwarranted Advice. Christy, we're really impressed by what you're doing here, and the fact that you're still keeping up your own recovery program is pretty amazing. If somebody wanted to be involved with the Next Step recovery program or mentorship program, how would they go about doing that?
We have a website. It's nsmentoring.com as a next step, nsmentoring.com. You can go there and register, or you can send me an email. My email is Christy, Christy, @nextsteptoday.org. Or you can just come by the office, which is on 6th and Washington, and talk to me about it or fill out an application. That's really what we need right now is mentors. And I believe, we've done a lot of recruitment from the local churches, which has been okay, but I really think that this is something that the recovery community could step up and help out with.
Thank you so much, Christy. We appreciate you joining us.
Yep.